What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tip of the Spear. This is episode 5. I'm your host, Grayson Sneed. I'm also here with my father, John Sneed, and Cole Sneed. How are you guys doing today?
All right, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Very good, very good. First, I want to recognize we won gold in hockey. I mean, that's pretty awesome for the USA. Big time. I mean, it's nice to show our country's spirit and everything. I mean, it's amazing. How do you guys feel about that?
I was totally thrilled to watch the game. I actually got up at 7:30, crack of dawn on a Sunday to watch USA hockey, totally thinking that we were probably going to lose because all I've heard about was how great Canada had played in this tournament, and what a game. I mean, it was fantastic. I loved the fact that we won, even though it felt like we were outplayed the whole game other than the first period. And the Canadians are sore, so I really like that. And the fact that they're complaining and whining about losing and saying that the better team didn't win. I just say, well, the score was, 2-1. That means we won. And you had a 5-on-3, couldn't score. You guys missed multiple shots. Our goalie stood on our head, and we kicked your ass. So stop complaining. And, we beat you at your national sport. And so I love it. I love the fact that there's a rivalry now, and not that there wasn't already, but this will really make it interesting, the next big tournament we have against Canada.
Yeah, I watched both the men's and women's tournaments. Both of them absolutely electric. Hilarious that both of them ended 2-1 final scores in overtime, which just made for some phenomenal hockey to watch. I also woke up with a crack of dawn to watch them play. Me and the guys were supposed to go to the local dive bar and watch, but I was the only one that actually woke up, so I didn't end up going. Stayed on my couch and watched. But amazing game. Love watching the States win in hockey for the first time in 46 years on the men's side. Women's side, I think it was more recent, but the women dominated that entire tournament. It's just electric hockey all the way around. And what I think this is for Canada, it's a big wake-up call. It's no longer like the U.S. is coming. We're here now. Like, I was listening, or not listening, I was reading something today, and somebody on Twitter pretty much said that all the best Canadians come to play in the U.S. for their youth teams. Like, not youth teams, but like college hockey. It's like the college, whatever the Canadians do for college sports is not nearly as organized, not nearly as well developed as the NCAA. And so all of the best Canadian players are already coming down to the U.S. to train. And because the Canadians are coming down to train, our players are learning from them. Our players are getting better training with those same guys. They were developing this massive hockey development infrastructure here in the States that benefits, Canadians, but mainly United States players as well. And through this youth development that's happened over the years, we finally showed that we're here. Like, we're no longer second fiddle. We came to play. Yeah, sure. Canada probably played a better overall game, and maybe we got a good bounce here or there or something like that. Doesn't matter. We still went away with gold, and it was absolutely electric. But it definitely put Canada on notice.
I love the good bounce analogy. That's bullcrap. Listen, they missed. They took bad shots. Our goalie stood on his head. Stop crying. I mean, you lost the game. You guys were supposedly the best in the world, and you missed the open net. So that's part of the game. You lost.
The reason we were even in that game was from our goalie, Connor Hellebuyck. I mean, what a
phenomenal performance.
I mean, it's just absolutely. He's the reason we won gold. We were dominated basically the entire game. I mean, I was sitting on the front of my seat the entire time, yelling at my TV. I was definitely my roommate's alarm clock here in Blacksburg, Virginia. Waking up at 8 in the morning, watching some hockey. Is absolutely electric. We put on a great show, ended up with the W. Loved seeing Canada be pressed about everything after that. I mean, I gotta ask you, Cole. I don't know if you guys saw this, the both of you, but they were handing out like stuffed animals after the game to the Canadian players if they lost.
We all got those. They gave those to everybody who won a medal.
And I saw one of the players that actually on Canada that said something along the lines of you know who the better team was.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
By the way, he was the one that missed the wide open net.
Yeah, it was.
So he can stick it.
Yeah. He there was a video that I saw they were handing out like the stuffed animals. He grabbed it, he just looked at it and he shook his head no. So I laughed at that. I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I feel bad for them, and only in this sense. I listened to a couple callers. I was listening to a show after the game, and a couple callers on this radio show were from Canada, and they actually were very humble, and they actually kudos how well the U.S. team played, and that they did have their opportunities, and they missed their opportunities, and that's what a game is. It's a opportunity. What do you do? How do you make the most of the opportunities you're given? And we just made more of the opportunities. I mean, we made more happen with the fewer opportunities that we had. They missed wide open stuff, and they paid the price. So get over it. We won the game. But in Canada, that's like their number one sport. So they obviously are mourning this loss, and it's a big hit to their entire program. So what Cole was saying is true, that they were even saying that the United States has basically taken a lot of their youth players, like Cole's talking about, and they come and play in American colleges because of NIL, and also the fact that they're just better programs. The colleges in Canada or universities in Canada don't have the amount of funding put into sports like we do in America. So a lot of those kids come down here and play, and like Cole said, we're just developing better hockey players. So am I ready to say we're number one? No, but we're certainly a lot better than we used to be. Now, if we could only do that for U.S. soccer, which would be another thing that it would be awesome to see. But anyway, it was a great game. I was thoroughly impressed with how hard our guys played, and it did truly feel like when we won that game against Russia. And I was texting Cole back and forth about how I felt like it was like fate, that something, it was like they were all over us, but somehow we found a way to punch in the goal we needed to win. So super excited for us, and looking forward to the next one in 4 years.
Yeah, Dad made a comment when he was talking right there. The one part I do sympathize with Canadians with is, and this is like the only thing, is that hockey's all they have. Like, that is their thing. That's always been their thing. That's like their national identity. So when we come and kind of take that away from them and rub their nose in it, I kind of get when they get a little upset for it. Especially since hockey is not even close to the most popular sport in the U.S. It's like, at this point, it's probably fourth on the totem pole, I would imagine. Because you got NFL number one, I'd assume MLB, NBA are 2, 3. Or, yeah, NBA, MLB. I think I said that right, but either way. At the 2, 3 spot, NHL at the 4. Like, our fourth most popular sport is going and beating Canada's number one and really only sport. So I do kind of feel bad for them for that, but at the same time, they'll get over it. They got 4 years to recover and come back at us next time, and we'll see what happens next Olympics. So,
I mean, when we were watching the game, every single time I saw Connor McDavid enter the game and get on the ice, I mean, from my own personal preference, I believe he is undoubtedly the best hockey player in the National Hockey League right now. I mean, undoubtedly. And just literally on the edge of my seat every single time they did that. Also, the sudden death where they do like the 3-on-3, absolutely love that.
Oh, they whined and complained about that. The Canadians complained about that.
But yeah,
I that's the one thing Cole was saying that I agree with. They whined and complained about that, right? The Canadians, it's 3-on-3, the golden goal. I do feel like, and I have to say,
they had the upper hand on that.
I know, but I just feel like, why? When it's the last, literally, the men's hockey game is the last event of the Olympics. And I understand they did the 3-on-3 in the playoffs and all that was because they had games backed up against other games. But if you know it's the last game, it's the men's championship, it should be 5-on-5. I agree with that. Why do the 3-on-3? I mean, what's your rush? What are you trying to get it over with so quickly for? So I would hope they change that back and make it 5-on-5. I mean, if you're going to play that hard, and both those teams played hard, they can try to take it from the U.S., whatever they want. Defense, in my opinion, is harder to play than offense because you're constantly trying to block shots, get in the way, you're moving. I just feel like defense is a lot harder, me personally. So, but that was the one thing I'd have to say I agree with Cole in terms of things they should maybe. Well, he didn't say that, but I'm just saying I would maybe like to see him go back to that in the future. So, pivoting from hockey to tip of the spear, the Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them. Some interesting things have happened this week. One of them being that evidently we're going to stick with Wiley. Really? I mean, Andrew Wiley, how old is he? 50? I don't know. I mean, I guess he came in last year and he was a solid backup. So in our offensive line, I don't think is a major issue. I'm not sure what the terms were or the size of the contract, but that's one that we look like we're definitely going to keep. And then one, it's trending. Seems like it's trending towards releasing, obviously, as Marshawn Lattimore with the gun charges and notwithstanding his play, which was certainly not what I think all of us expected when we traded for him from New Orleans. But what are your guys' thoughts on those two potential moves?
With the whole Marshawn Lattimore thing, at least, like, obviously, like, politically to the side, putting the politics to the side, whatever went on with, like, the gun charges, whatever. But his play and just age-wise, I don't think it's smart to keep him here. I mean, if we look at really what he could be in the veteran role, like Bobby Wagner was a little bit, but I just don't see us spending money on somebody that really hasn't done anything for us other than get 6 PI calls on AJ Brown every single game that we play them. I mean, I think I can probably count on one hand, if not 3 fingers, how many good games he had with us. I mean, nevertheless, how much he was hurt. Yes, he was still injured, and we knew he was like that too, which is another issue. He's always injury prone from year to year, and that's been his career. Unfortunately, he's hurt a lot. So is he worth the investment? I don't think so. I think we should move on with him, stick with our young guys. Trey Amos has a great career ahead of him, I believe. Still have Mikey Sanders still. I'm sure we're gonna go after some corner, but I don't think we should.
Who was the guy that came on really strong towards the end of the year? He was an ex-Patriots, not Will Harris. It was because Will Harris is a safety. There's another guy who came in towards the end of the year.
I want to say his last name was Johnson.
I don't know, but he was pretty good. The whole Lattimore thing, I just don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna have his legal troubles might keep him out of football. But even if he was around, I don't know. Would you? I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to be rushing to sign him. Is he better than a college player? And keeping him on a minimum veteran deal as a backup or potentially somebody to throw in there because we're injury prone. Somebody's going to get hurt, and I mean, yeah. The other thing too you have to consider with Marshawn Lattimore is we're talking about how bad he played, and I agree 100%. He played awful, but I also agree 100% the defensive coordinator sucked 100%. Everybody ran all over us. And Mikey Sanders still has not played like he played his first year. So maybe this D coordinator, who actually is a defensive backs coach, might see something within Marshawn that was worth another go. Bring him to camp, minimum deal. If he's terrible, you cut him. But I think they may have to cut him because of his contract. So I don't think that's. I think maybe he's under contract still. I don't know, but if I could have him back at very minimum deal, and he's made a mistake and he's willing to amends for his mistake, maybe he's worth keeping. I don't know. I'm excited about the new defensive coordinator for sure, and we gave up on Forbes, and now Forbes is a starter with the Rams, and Marshawn has a little bit of baggage, but at one point he was a dominant player, and maybe that's gone. I don't know.
The way I see it, and I think the way the front office sees it, is the move would be strictly to just clear up cap. From what I understand, and from what Adam Schefter, I think, came out and said on ESPN or something not too long ago, was that he expects us to be very active in free agency, expects us to make some big swings. So it might be a thing where just to free up cap, because it's not a matter of re-signing Lattimore. He's under contract for another year. It'd be a matter of releasing him and dropping his contract, because I think don't quote me on this, I think he's supposed to earn like $13 million or something this year.
Well, then you got to get rid of him, I guess.
So it'd be just a move to get rid of him and free up a spot to have potentially some free agent or rookie come in and take that position. I know there were two corners. There was actually two corners that kind of flashed towards the tail end of the year. One of them was like 32 years old, and the other one was that, I think, like Grayson was saying, that Johnson guy. I don't remember their names because they didn't play a whole lot, but you occasionally see him like, oh, that guy's pretty decent. But I don't think that's in their long-term plans, obviously. But when it comes to re-signing, what did I say, Wiley?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the move. It's not like an exciting move by any means. It's not like we went out and got a star or re-signed a big player to a massive contract. But Wiley, I mean, our offensive line wasn't bad last year, so I don't mind bringing back anybody that was on the offensive line. I'm okay with having an okay offensive line, because having a bad offensive line. And I'm sure Wiley you can get for relatively cheap, and we got him for relatively cheap. I didn't see his extension details or anything like that yet. All I know is that we signed him like 30 minutes ago before this sign. I don't think the details have even been released. But I like the move. Sure. I like keeping him. And I'm for getting rid of Lattimore. I think we can find somebody a little bit better than him for a little bit cheaper. Even if not cheaper, we got plenty of cap space. Maybe go for a big name. Maybe go for a big swing at the corner position. Maybe try to get a big star. I don't know. But we'll wait and see.
The Seattle kid. That'll be my pick. You're going to spend some money.
How about we just go back in time and pick up Christian Gonzalez?
We go back in time and Sean Taylor's still alive.
Yeah. That'd be great too.
No, that would be great. So one other thing too is everybody's talking about, and I can't remember. I don't think we talked about it. Maybe we touched on it last week. Was Ayuk? You're either for it or against it, and it seemed like 50-50 shot. But I just wanted to throw this out that I heard on the rumor mill this week, and then see if you guys still feel the same way. If this is true, and again, this is a rumor. I don't know. It's not been substantiated by Schefter or anybody like that, but that evidently, at one point, I guess it was a year and a half ago, there was a trade in place where he was going to actually become a Washington Redskin. Something happened during that trade, which he was really pissed off about because he really wants to play with Jaden and really wanted to play with Jaden. Well, ultimately, San Francisco came in and met his number that he was asking for, and he signed it, but he signed it kind of begrudgingly and really didn't feel like San Francisco was being, I guess, grateful for his services and everything he'd done, and it took him too long to sign the contract, kind of like what happened with McLaurin. So when he did get hurt, he was okay with not playing and just saying, screw it. They don't want me really here. I don't really want to be here. And he's willing to give up the money. And yes, that comes across as a selfish player and kind of a punkish attitude. But if you were to factor that in, if being true, and he really wants to be united with Jaden, and him and Jaden are friends, and if he came here and Jaden was able to reel him in, granted, I know he hasn't played, since he was a top receiver in 23, 24, I don't remember what it was. It might be worth taking a flyer on that guy as well. Bringing him in, show me deal, and see if Jaden can reel him in and get him back to where he was before. I personally at first was like, nah, don't bring him because he's he's just nothing. He's going to be nothing but a headache. But once I heard that, I kind of felt like, maybe it might be worth it. So all things considered, after hearing that, what is your guys' feeling? Still no?
If that truly is the case, and that's a big if that is the sole reason he had this whole fiasco in San Francisco and wanted out because he wanted to be a commander, which respectfully I don't think is the whole truth or even close to the whole truth when it comes to that. If that is the case, I'd be okay with only getting him here on a 1-year prove it deal. Anything past that, no thank you. I don't want to lock this guy up for multiple years. Regardless of his baggage, the injury history, again, we were like one of the most injured, I think the second most injured team in the NFL last year, had so many starters out. Why would we trade for, or not trade, or pick up somebody that also has this substantial injury history? It's like, it's a move from a lot of directions, doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you can get him for very cheap on a prove it deal where he's maximally inclined to play the best that he possibly can and cause the least amount of issues.
I just think I agree with you, Cole, and I'm sorry, Grayson, I'll be quick. The thing I worry about with, like, when you can get some of these guys that have proven they can already play in the NFL versus taking a shot on a third-round draft pick as a wide receiver, where's your better bang for the buck? A guy who knows the NFL, has played in the NFL, might not be as fast, might have a little bit of baggage versus over a kid who's never had money in his life. Well, now they have NIL money, but, you know, got a car, got millions of dollars. I mean, you're kind of taking a risk on both, right? Character is character. So I just feel like sometimes we write off these washed-up athletes that might have a year or two in. And yeah, some of them need to be. But I think sometimes, and again, like I changed my tune on this guy, that if this is truly, you know, what went on, then I'd be all for it. And then you got guys like this guy in Seattle. Who's the top receiver, Grayson, in Seattle now?
Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Yeah, and he's already saying that he needs to be paid the most amount of money. He's the best wide receiver in the league, and he needs to be paid like it. So it just, you know, that instantly turns me off too. I mean, well, he had one good year? I mean, okay. 2? I don't know. I've never heard of him until this year, so I guess you guys know better. But anyway, Grayson, I cut you off on the Aiyuk. How do you feel about Aiyuk if that story is legitimate?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say because I mean we truly don't know if that's true or not, and what really would happen in house in San Francisco and all that stuff. I mean, stuff gets blown up on the media all the time, so that could possibly be the case. But just looking at like football in itself and how he's performed, I mean, he was I guess a top 10 receiver a couple years ago, maybe top 10 receiver.
No, I think he was top 3, 2 or 3. And then also just keep in mind, Jaden Daniels just recently said that he would love to get him here. And that's your quarterback basically asking for him. And he knows the baggage. So yes, do I want the quarterback telling the general manager who to bring in? Not necessarily, but there's some sort of connection there.
Respectfully, I don't care what Jaden Daniels thinks or wants at all.
We all know how you feel about Jaden.
Yeah, you can try to play that angle. That's not the case at all. What I'm trying to say is, like, he's not the GM. He's not the one getting paid to make the best decisions for the team. He has his own interests at heart, and that's totally fine and okay. And this is not me digging on him, because if I was in the NFL and I had boys in the NFL that needed second chances, I'd be doing the exact same thing. But as a GM for Adam Peters, your job is to get the best guys available. And I don't think the guys that Jaden Daniels necessarily wants are the best fits for this team. That they'd probably make Jaden Daniels happy in the short term, but I can't see Aiyuk sticking around here for multiple years, or Rachaad White, who I think played with Jaden Daniels at ASU, sticking around here for a couple years. Like those are rental guys who are only going to stick around for a year, maybe 2. Like, you have to think about the best long-term longevity of the franchise in a whole if you're the GM, and I just don't think bringing those guys in. So like I respect Jaden Daniels. I respect Jaden Daniels' opinion, and I want him to have an opinion, but I don't think that should be why we go out and get the guys that we get. And in fact, I feel like it should be very low weighted. In fact, they showed with Cliff Kingsbury, after his mom and him pretty much came out and vouched for Cliff Kingsbury, a week later he was off our team.
Yeah, I don't think. To be clear, I don't think Adam Peters is going to take Ayuk because of Jaden Daniels. My only point in saying that is that they are buds. So maybe there'd be some kind of connection there. I've never even seen them play together. I don't know how he was at ASU. I don't know any of that. I just know maybe it's just the familiarity thing. So I agree with you, Cole. Jaden Daniels doesn't pick the players. He plays with who's Adam Peters picks.
I mean, I don't want him. I mean, that's just from my opinion. I don't want him. I mean, injuries scare me. I mean, he's battling an ACL tear. I mean, I think this is his first real injury. I mean, we never know. People could come back and not be the same from ACLs. I mean, seriously, we never know. But like putting the baggage to the side about what happened in San Francisco, how it all ended up, who if he was a diva, if he wasn't. I mean, I just don't want him. I think we should go for somebody that's a little bit younger, somebody that, like Cole said, will stick around for a long time but honestly, in our position, especially with draft position, we're not in a position to draft a young wide receiver that's high up on the draft board. We could maybe pick somebody up.
So speaking of, okay, so then who's our starting lineup next year? If you don't get a wide receiver, who's your starting lineup? Travion Burks. If you re-sign Debo, McCaffrey, and Terry McLaurin, I don't think that's getting it done. I'm intrigued by Travion Burks and what he can bring.
Traylon,
but they got to throw him the ball, and they didn't throw him the ball a lot. He caught the ball. I mean, when that won a miraculous catch, but for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to be the number one guy to go to. So I don't know if that means he's just not. He doesn't run good routes. He doesn't get open. But it kind of scares me if we don't get somebody. I don't like those 4 or 5 options. I mean, we got to get,
We're going to get somebody for sure. But they're not going to. What we see on the roster right now is definitely not what's going to be starting on the roster. At least I would hope not at the start of this season coming up. I do like Burks. I think we signed him to a 1-year deal, so I think he's a free agent. I would imagine we're going to try to get him back. You can get him back for relatively cheap. I've been seeing on social media and stuff, it's looking more and more like Debo's gone. Just because people are saying Debo's actually going to command a pretty high market in free agency, so he's going to generate like a bidding war and probably go to the highest bidder, and I don't think that's going to be us in this case. It could be. I could be wrong. But, so yeah, right now you're looking at like Terry, Traylon Burks, if you re-sign him, Luke McCaffrey, and Jalen Lane. I think that's it. And I know for a fact Adam Peters is not going to let that slide. He's not going to let that stay until next season. He's going to either pick up a free agent or we're going to draft somebody. Maybe use our third-round pick on a guy. Maybe a fifth. Actually, no, we don't have a fifth rounder. Maybe the fourth rounder on it. But we'll see.
Offense, and specifically our wide receivers, they were not the problem last year whatsoever. So if we could bring back Debo and have a healthy Debo, a healthy Terry McLaurin, healthy, I think Noah Brown's gone. But if we get healthy Luke McCaffrey, I mean, we literally had no starting quarterback. Okay, yeah, we had Jaden Daniels for however many games. But Marcus Mariota, I mean, he's a backup for a reason. I love the guy. He's a great backup, but he's not an elite NFL player anymore, unfortunately. But I truly don't think we need to bring in some huge wide receiver name to be competitive in the NFL. We just need to fix our defense. That's it. So I just want this year to put all of our money into defense. I don't care if we get Brandon Ayuk. If he comes here, sure, for the right penny. But I'm not wanting, or I'm not like desperate to get Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. I heard Cole told me earlier today that the other thing, we're talking about, I'm a little more worried than you are in terms of offense, because I think we lack firepower. Everybody doubles Terry because they know we don't have a true number 2. Debo, especially if he's gone, we're really, we need to pick up somebody who's decent. But I also worry about tight end. If Zach Ertz doesn't come back, which I doubt he's going to, who's they going to throw the ball to? Sinnott? I don't think so. I don't think Sinnott is the answer. So we're looking at a potential tight end too, and Cole was saying that Kyle Pitts was supposed to be or gonna be franchised. So there goes the top guy I wanted. So if that's true, then what? Are we talking about? What's the guy from Njoku? Or are we talking about Isaiah Likely? Are we talking about somebody
Exactly
like
what
that?
we're talking about Isaiah Likely. He's going to be a Redskin, and he's going to work He's going to do wonders in Washington. Promise.
Is he good? I don't know. I know Mark Andrews.
Well,
Is-
I mean,
I-
he
I-
really,
Anybody that's a tight end 2 behind Mark Andrews is not good.
I just think he hasn't been given a chance. Like genuinely, they just had Mark Andrews there, and then Isaiah Likely came along, and it was kind of like he had seniority over him, where it was just he's playing often because he's the vet guy. I truly think that Isaiah Likely is actually better than Mark Andrews. Maybe scheme wise, it might be different over there in Baltimore with Lamar and how Mark Andrews moves, but I mean, having Isaiah Likely on the field is almost like having a fourth wide receiver on the field, in my personal opinion.
Well, I'm going on the record saying it's going to be Njoku because Njoku has never had a guy that can throw him the ball. So if you get him with Jaden Daniels and have a quarterback that can actually get him the ball, that guy has some ups. He's got powerful hands. He doesn't drop balls. They don't throw it to him enough. And the guy can run. I'm just telling you, and he's tough. That's my sleeper. And I'll tell you, before you say, no, he's, whatever, think about it. Who's throwing the ball outside of Baker Mayfield maybe for 1 year? Nobody. So that's my sleeper.
I wanted Pitts so badly.
Well, he was number one. He was number one on my list, but I will gladly take Njoku.
Maybe next year. But, I mean, out of the two options, I'd rather have Likely over Njoku. I'm not convinced at all with a player that can't get playing time over Mark Andrews, who has butterfingers and is 32-something years old. Not 32, he's younger than that. I made that up.
I mean, we could look at David Njoku this year with Harold Fannin. I mean, they were doing like the whole 2 tight end scheme, whatever, in Cleveland. But if we look at how many targets Harold Fannin had versus David Njoku, I mean,
Have you seen Njoku?
Yes,
Have you seen the body on that guy?
Yeah.
He is like a big, beefy dude.
Time out. Pause. But
Yeah, what you mean by that?
He's
a big dude. The guy can block.
Yeah,
He's an animal in there. I mean, I've watched him play. He's good, and he actually looks big, like heavy, big, like a big, slow, lumbering guy, almost as big as an offensive lineman. He's a big dude, but the guy can get up, and he's got good hands. I'm telling you, you guys are overlooking that guy.
I think it has ups and downs to each guy. I mean, Isaiah Likely obviously isn't as bulky, I guess you could say, or weigh as much as David Njoku, because I mean he is a unit. I don't know, he probably weighs like close to 250 pounds. I don't even know, but fast, speed, hands. I mean, Isaiah Likely, that's my guy. I know I'm kind of glazing Isaiah Likely a little.
Where did
bit.
he go to? Where did Isaiah Likely go to school? I honestly, I can't say I've ever seen him in a game. Everybody's talking about this guy. It's not just Grayson. It's like 106.7 Grant and Danny, Isaiah Likely. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Listen, I think maybe Mark Andrews was hurt the first game last year or something. Isaiah Likely scored 3 touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was it. Should have beat the Chiefs. I'm pretty sure when maybe not the Chiefs, but somebody, they were playing them this past season, and he did that little toe tap thing. Didn't score a touchdown, but I mean, He's tough. I like him a lot.
All right, so I have just found out where Isaiah Likely went to college. So I'm going to play a fun little game. I'll give you guys one hint, and I want you each to guess a school, okay?
Okay.
Your hint is the Sun Belt.
Oh God, the Sun Belt.
JMU.
Not JMU.
I don't know. Marshall.
The Sun Belt.
I have no idea, dude.
Oh, the Chancellors of.
You went to Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina, yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Chanticleers or whatever. Yeah.
I think it's
awesome.
Chanticleers or something. Either way,
Chanticleers,
don't know how to
right.
pronounce it. But yeah, he went to
Cool
Coastal.
colors. I
Yeah,
always like their colors.
cool stadium
Very
too.
good.
They got, I think, the teal turf and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's my guy. I mean, I think we need a tight end. I think we all can agree on that. Unfortunately,
I'm happy.
I love-
If you're happy, I'm happy. I don't know him, but I trust you. I just know Njoku because I've seen him play.
and we're also not just getting rid of John Bates and Ben Sinnott. I don't know what we're doing. With
No,
John
we had a great. I think John Bates. They said he's like one of the top 5 blocking tight ends in the NFL. I just don't think Sinnott is going to be the pass catcher. He hasn't proven to be the guy that can replace the number of catches that Ertz gets. And I think in this offense, at least in Cliff's offense, you need a pass catching tight end. But I prefer somebody that catches and actually runs instead of what Ertz would do was catch and fall down. 90% of the time, catch and fall down or turn and fall. So somebody that can catch and run. This is why, the guy in Atlanta was Pitts was such an intriguing guy because he does play like a wide receiver. You know.
So one thing, or go ahead, Cole, before I switch it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm almost not opposed to the idea of not even worrying about picking up another tight end and just kind of letting Ben Sinnott just kind of figure it out this year. And if it doesn't work out this year, then we go shopping for a tight end next year. You know,
Think of how many
No.
attempts go to the tight end in this offense.
Yeah, I know. But think about it. You keep Sinnott. If it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't work out, the guy that just got franchise tagged today is going to be free and available next free agency. My boy Kyle Pitts. So you can try this Ben Sinnott thing out. Maybe he's a less than productive tight end. Oh well, we kind of lack in the tight end spot for a year. Maybe we pick up a wide receiver to supplement that. But instead of signing a dude for a 3-year deal and maybe losing out on the Kyle Pitts lottery next year, I don't hate the idea of just kind of sitting on it for a little while and seeing how Sinnott can actually play it out. I know when he had an opportunity late in the season, he didn't really do much. I honestly, if I'm going to be entirely honest, I'm not expecting any sort of big things from him at all if he were to play. But maybe, just maybe, he can be a somewhat serviceable tight end for a season when we need him to, you know? I don't know.
We got to hope the general manager makes the right decision there because I don't think any of us have been impressed with what we've seen. And they're gonna use similar offense. The amount of throws that go to the tight end, it's important. You have somebody that can catch the ball, and we got the blocker taken care of. I saw today also potential running backs that the Redskins were looking at, and in a mock draft, they actually had Grayson's guy going number 1 to the Commanders, Redskins from Notre Dame. I couldn't believe it. I almost fell out of my chair when I read that somebody would think that the Commanders would draft a number 1 pick as a running back from Notre Dame. I don't know, especially when Breece Hall is expected to be on the top of the Commanders list.
Listen, when I was bringing up Jeremiah Love, he's an explosive player, and I think he's great. Do I want to draft a running back? Absolutely not. Now, I think Jeremiah Love is literally the worst, most terrible, worst-case decision that we could possibly make if both David Bailey and Ruben Bain go, if Caleb Downs goes. I mean, truthfully, we don't even really know how this draft is going to go. I mean, it's kind of hard to see who people are going to pick. I mean, this is probably one of the more confusing drafts in the past couple of years from pick 1 to 10. I really don't know where we're going to go. I don't think the fan base truly knows where we're going to go. Really only Adam Peters and the whole coaching staff know where we're going to go. I'm sure they all have a better plan than us, but having Jeremiah Love it would make our offense more explosive. However, what do we need? Defense. So
all I hope is the team before us picks him so that we can get a David Bailey or one of those guys. But I have to tell you, in the mock drafts, there were several different guys that were number 1 picks for the Commanders, Redskins, and the other guy said that David Bailey was actually going to fall on draft day, and he'd fall to us. So that would be a shocker, I would think, that he would fall to, what are we, 7? Yeah, I don't know if that's, but that evidently Ruben Baines and And there's another guy. I can't think of the guy's name. He's not from Miami. Oh, God. That's another end that could potentially move up and David Bailey fall down to us, which would be, I guess, great.
So I've seen believe it or not, I've seen this Jeremiah Love train. It's starting to gain some momentum. Not for me, but I'm starting to see it in the fan base where people are like, I mean, I can kind of see it, like, and I can kind of understand if all of our guys go and they want to get Jeremiah Love. Sure. Do I think it's a good pick? Absolutely not. Do I think it helps us? Not very much. But I'm seeing people everywhere is like, well, in every single power ranking or whatever of draft picks, he's pretty much the number 2 guy on everybody's board, right behind Mendoza. So it's like you could be drafting potentially again the best guy available, and it's not usually when they say that you got a generational running back coming out, it usually ends up being a generational running back. Apparently, they got pretty good hit rates on that or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've been hearing. So it's maybe, just maybe, I can see it. I still absolutely think we need to go defense with our first pick, and I think that is absolutely what we need to do. But in a worst case scenario, I can maybe wrap my head around it.
Do you guys know, when does free agency start?
It's already started. Yeah.
No. Officially, where you can actually sign players that are on other people's teams. I think it's. Is it before or after the draft? It's before the draft, I believe.
I think it is before.
I shouldn't know that. So, seeing who they sign will definitely, if that's the case, who they sign will point to whether or not a running back's even feasible. If they lock up a defensive end, and the other thing I heard today, not barring, another thing that's on the horizon that could potentially really happen, and I know Cole's going to hate this when I say it, but Max Crosby to the Redskins is definitely being talked about. 100%, it's a potential that could happen, and it would cost us our number 1 pick this year and potentially another number 1 pick, 2027 number 1 pick for Max Crosby. And I tell you what, I would do it. And I know you say no, I would do it because that guy is a game-changing, guaranteed defensive end, game wrecker.
Until one ACL tear.
That's the same thing on any player. A rookie. And then you take a rookie who you think's going to be good, i.e. Forbes, and turns out to be a complete dud in the NFL. It happens all the time. You roll the dice with a proven commodity. That guy would be phenomenal. Imagine him in a Commander's uniform, and he's good against the run. He's not like Hendrickson, who's great against the pass but not a good run defender. I don't know, man. I would get excited about it and then you build around him. I mean, you draft this, you do a little this, but they have the money to do it. So anyway, it's I just bring it up because it's definitely being talked about. It's a real thing. It's a possibility. For sure.
It's just, why can't we just be... I would even just take mediocre for a defense, but we're just terrible. It's awful. If we had a mid-defense, like a couple guys, right, we could take Jeremiah Love, but we are not in the position to be taking an offensive player at this state of our game and where we are as a franchise.
Imagine a consistent pass rusher that actually would wreck a quarterback. Yeah, we don't have that either.
We don't have that. I mean, it's a dime a dozen, to be honest with you. I mean, Max Crosby is great, but I mean, the way we have traded and the draft picks that we have, we're kind of running a little thin on talent.
Who was the number 2 pick last year? What was his name? Who was the guy that from Penn State that everybody had to have?
Abdul Carter. Dud.
That's my worry, Cole. A guy who you draft that high turns out to be aloof, a little bit of a head case, not a good player. He came on a little bit towards the end of the year. Maybe he'd be better, this year. But that's what I worry about. That's my only concern with a rookie. You just don't know what you're getting. You think
Yeah, but you're also paying a rookie like 4 times less than what you'd be paying Max Crosby, and you can fill holes elsewhere.
I understand that.
You're not gonna save the defense by getting one guy and trading away 2 first round draft picks for the next 2 years.
But it's time that we actually spent.
Yeah, not
some
that way.
money.
Use the money we have in cap room and free agency. Don't go out and spend
That's
all of
what
our
I mean.
draft picks. We need those draft picks. We're also going to be stuck having to trade for guys like Marshawn Lattimore and having Bobby Wagner, who's going to be 55 years old next season, rolling back out there. Like it's outrageous at this point. Like draft picks, yeah, I understand you can use them as currency to trade pieces and stuff like that, but they're also tools to help build your team. And it seems like all we've been doing, yes, we used 2 good draft picks to get Laramie Tunsil. That I agree with. That was a good pick. But getting rid of 2 first-round draft picks, especially one in the top 10, and depending on how we finish next year, could be anywhere in there.
Okay,
Like
so
it
what
just
about-
doesn't make sense at all. You're just throwing away the
so what
future
about-
for a win now for the next 2-3 seasons. If it
So
doesn't
what
work
about-
out, then what? Then
so
we're
what
back
about-
into rebuilding again.
So what about a 1 and a 3, or a 1 and a 5, or a 1, a 3?
He
and a
wouldn't.
5?
He wouldn't go for that. They would.
just
They would
saying,
never
what
trade
if?
him for less than 2 firsts.
I don't know. If there's no takers,
There'll be
you never
there'll be
know.
a taker for 2 firsts. It just won't be us. At least it shouldn't be us.
Right, and you know who it will be? A team that's close to going to the Super Bowl that'll spend the money, and they'll take the same risk that we won't take. I'm just saying I
They
agree with
don't.
what you're
They're not
saying.
as desperate for help as we would be, and like every single position on defense, or the wide receiver room, or the tight end position. Like these teams that are close to competing, they're usually like 1 or 2 pieces away. That's why they can make these trades and sacrifice these picks. We are not that team right now. We are a team that needs to use these picks to draft pieces that can potentially help us, not trade these picks away for one singular guy who, assuming he stays healthy here, might help us make it to the playoffs one of these seasons. Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know.
You're
I could
gambling
see-
the entire future to draft one guy that might stick around for 2 to 3 years. And if you don't win a Super Bowl in those 3 years, then what was it for? To sell jerseys? Like that's not how you build a team. That's how you kill a team. That's what the Bengals did with Jamar Chase. They pay all these money to 3 dudes and Hendrickson. They have no other piece on the defense because all these guys are making so much money. Their defense still sucks with a name like Hendrickson on the defensive line. It'd be the same thing here. Like
Okay,
one
I
guy's
got it.
not going to
Okay.
save it.
Shh, take a break. It's okay. Take a breath.
I'm
We're
just
talking.
Yeah, I know
got
we're
it.
just talking. I'm just like
I got it.
I don't understand the idea at all. I don't understand how it could make sense.
It's okay. It's different philosophies. That's all. I am ready to spend a little more money now.
That's not spending
Yeah.
money.
Okay.
That's spending draft picks.
Anyway.
I
Okay.
mean, in Cole's defense, I mean, he's just showing how passionate he is as a Commanders fan. I think we can all agree the frustration is there for every single fan there.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just a tough position that we're in to, we're trying to balance out our team as best as possible, and what is unbalanced right now defensively, where do we need the most help? I mean, yeah, defensive end, safety, corner, you name it. Literally anywhere basically on the field, defensively, we need help in. We need
Yeah.
a star guy. Now, with Max Crosby, he's a dog. He's a game changer, just like my dad said. He is a dog. But in the case that we trade 2 first-round picks to ruin our future, I mean, who knows how it would, shape out, because we're not time travelers. We can't. know
Our
if
best player on this team, other than Jaden Daniels, is a punter.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know really where that's coming from in this debate. but-
I'm just saying, spend some money, get somebody who's a marquee player. And I'm sorry, Terry McLaurin, he's a great player. I think he's a great player, but he's not a marquee player. We don't have one of those. Our marquee player, Jaden Daniels, which is great, but outside of our quarterback, on defense, do we have one marquee player that you could call out? Deron Payne, maybe? Is that our one guy?
Maybe
I
you
guess.
draft him this year at the 7th
Maybe.
spot.
Maybe.
Listen, we're not time travelers. We're not going to know what's going to be good. I mean, truthfully, because
Man, I miss Sean Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but he wasn't a DN either. So
No, but he was a
he's
beast.
He's a game wrecker. Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
game wrecker. But I mean, if we just look at, we could say, hey, we did that trade. We got Max Crosby. We win a Super Bowl next year. But at the same time, we could trade for Max Crosby, and he could get injured. I mean, it's just like, or on the other hand, we could draft our Abdul Carter of last year, just not perform as well. I mean, he's going to develop. It's his rookie season, but We could draft a Ruben Bain and he could be awful. We could draft a David Bailey and he could be phenomenal. I mean, the only thing that I know and that we all know is that whoever is on that field, they have to perform.
You,
That's it.
you got to think about it this way as well. Like, it's way less risky to go the route of drafting somebody rather than trading for somebody and giving away two first round picks for the reason of that injury, right? Like, you trade your two first round picks, right? This dude gets hurt, tears an ACL. Not saying it's going to happen. And this is not me saying Max Crosby's not a great player because he's
He,
phenomenal.
real quick,
But
he does not get hurt though. I
yet,
will
yet
say.
neither did Terry. It can happen to anybody. But, like, just because they haven't been hurt in the past doesn't mean they're not going to get hurt in the future. But that's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, like, if for whatever reason he gets hurt, you trade away these two first round draft picks. He spends the entire year on the IR or whatever, comes back, he's not the same that he was. We gave away two first round draft picks for that singular guy. That wasn't as productive. Whereas if you just draft a dude at 7, maybe he's Abdul Carter. Maybe he's not fantastic. Maybe he's a late bloomer, whatever. It's less risky because at least you still got the first rounder the next season too that you can potentially draft somebody else with. You're not giving away two opportunities of drafting a big player for one dude, barring injury. And I know he hasn't been hurt. I know he's been healthy, but that can always change. Like, it's just a massive gamble that we can't afford right now. We're not in a spot where we can afford that. So,
Got it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sold on Max Crosby. I wasn't saying that had to be the guy, but I just think we need to, whether we trade or we don't trade, we need to spend some money. And if that means Hendrickson to bring in somebody that you can get on a contract and you have to pay him $25 million a year to get somebody that can actually hit the quarterback, then I'm all for it. I think they need to do it. So if draft picks aren't the way to do it, then you need to spend some money on good free agents. Don't play this 1-year deal, Demetric Wise or whatever. That crap. I'm done with that. That didn't work. And get somebody, give them a 3-year deal.
I
Somebody who's
just don't.
good.
I just don't know how valuable this draft. I mean, okay, this could be a horrible take in the next year or great take in the next year. I truly don't know how valuable this draft class is going to be yet, because I mean, obviously we've never seen these players. So, in the case that we trade for Max Crosby, I don't even know if Las Vegas would even want to do that in this case. So I don't think it's valuable to them to trade them away. Trade him away. I mean, he's a beast. They have the
I heard.
first round pick.
I
They
heard
had
today. I heard
first overall
today.
pick. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think they would do that realistically.
Again, I think there's a lot of gamesmanship going on right now, and I also heard, I guess it was yesterday, that they're not completely sold on Mendoza as number one, and they would trade that pick to the Jets because Tom Brady's not 100% sold on Mendoza. Yeah, that's true, and they're basically saying they were going to wait till next year because they don't know how good he's going to be in the pro game. So yeah, again, a lot of smoke and mirrors. Who knows? But my guess is he'll be the number one pick. But
I mean,
yeah,
after
I
watching
think.
the season with Geno Smith, I think you have to take Fernando Mendoza number one.
Well, then they were talking about Kyler Murray and who Tom Brady, because Tom Brady basically is running things there. So whoever Tom Brady thinks is going to emulate him, they were actually interested. I heard they were interested in Mac Brown, or not Mac Brown, the guy Matt Jones, yeah, of all people, but based on the way he played for San Francisco last year. So who knows? Who knows? I think it's again. You're probably right. Max Crosby's probably not going to be on the table, and 2 first-round picks probably isn't worth it. The more I think about it, but the idea of having a player like that on this team, is exciting. But yeah, we have a lot of needs.
there's plenty of blue chip guys as well that we can potentially pick up for other positions on defense too, like a corner or a linebacker or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a D end. Like if you want a blue chip guy, there's other areas where you can potentially get somebody. I want a big name too. Don't get me wrong, just not for that price.
Yeah.
One thing I want to bring up, kind of like something funny that I saw on the internet, that Jaden Daniels has been in a lot of interviews recently. I don't know why or how, but he's in a lot of interviews, and he rated I didn't rate, but he said that he loves Eagles fans. Okay. Now, I don't know what he meant by that. I mean, yes, they bring passion, whatever, but something fun that I kind of wanted to do in our division, rating from the three teams that had the worst fans.
Eagles.
But you were saying Cowboys the other day.
Cowboys fans? No, I don't have a problem with. I hate Cowboys fans here. Now, if you're talking about people, you're talking about like watching games, who the fans I can't stand the most. If I'm watching a game, I can't stand the Eagles fans. I mean, they're just the worst in my opinion, the worst. Dallas fans, I mean, they're just passionate and they think their team is just the greatest thing ever, and they're never going to suck, and they never. Dallas can suck, and they still act like they're the greatest team ever. They're kind of like Canada. Right, you lose the game, but the best team didn't win. That's how they always are. So they're not going to fight you at a Redskins game. Eagles fans are going to come to your stadium. They're going to punk you in the face, spit on you, and act like they own the joint. Okay, and Giants fans are just sorry. I mean, they're just sorry. I mean, they just unfortunately, their greatest player was Eli Manning. I mean, come on. I mean, that guy.
Michael Strahan.
Yeah, I'm talking recently.
Lawrence Taylor.
No, Michael Strahan, who has the sack lead because Brett Favre laid down and gave it to him, or whatever. I think the thing Michael Strahan's most famous for is the gap between his teeth.
Oh my!
But those are my three takes on NFC East fans. The worst is by far the Philadelphia Beagles.
You got them there. I'm not going to go just based on NFC East. I'm just going to go all franchises because I think it's very clear for me who my top three that I don't like are. I'm going to go my number one most hated for sure is Eagles fans. No, it's Eagles fans. No. Bears are in the 2 spot. Bears are in the 2 spot. Don't you worry. But no, Eagles.
Yeah, if we're doing the whole league, the Bears are right up there.
All right, but yeah.
And the Seahawks, the 12s. Oh.
I don't mind the Seahawks fans at all, but no, Eagles fans, they just they have the reputation that comes before them. I don't really need to. There's nothing I could really add. Everybody knows everything about Eagles fans already. Bears fans, for me, they're so insecure, so beyond insecure about their quarterback. Man, it's like. They were dogging on Jaden Daniels all year this year because he was hurt. They were dogging on him all last year when he was healthy and playing better than Caleb Williams. And then as soon as Jaden Daniels got out of the picture and stuff, and Drake May kind of came on, they all started dogging on Drake May and how Drake May wasn't better than Caleb Williams and all this kind of stuff. It's just they come across as extremely whiny, and it's like Eagles fans with Jalen Hurts like begging for their quarterback to be elite. It's like begging for them to get recognition and stuff like that. It's just like. They're just obnoxious. And then my third team that I dislike is the New England Patriot fans. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I see it all over social media, like all leading up to the Super Bowl. All of them talking about, oh my God, this rebuild was so hard. You guys don't understand the pain that we went through. Yeah, the 3 years where they weren't Super Bowl contenders. It's like the reason I don't like them is they're just beyond entitled. So they just think that they're supposed to go out there and win the Super Bowl every flipping year, and it really gets under my skin. Because even if they go 7-7, which half the time for us in the past 20 years would be a good season, they're just like always moan and talk about how terrible they are and how no other team can understand their pain. It's like, shut up, dude. Now that's why they fill the number 3 spot for me.
How about you guys left out too? If we're talking NFL, what do you guys think about Steeler fans? They're pretty annoying in this area.
I mean,
Steelers, and then the other one too is I just feel so bad for these guys. The Browns, they throw batteries at opposing players, and dog biscuit and dog biscuits and other players. I mean, that. I guess I don't hate them. I just feel bad for them.
Yeah, the Browns is one of those franchises that you just kind of pity. Even though we're honestly pretty much on the same level in the past 30 years, but like you feel bad for them. You feel bad for the fans. They understand what we've been through. In fact, probably even a little bit more so than we do. So like, I can't hate on them because at least, hey, they're loyal. They're not like, hey, I'm going to go jump to the next good team or something like that. So you got to respect that. And then, I'm sorry, what was the other team you referred to with their fans?
Steelers. Pittsburgh
Steelers fans? Yeah, so there's
especially in construction. Everybody's from Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, no,
all Steelers fans.
I've got multiple Steelers fan coworkers, and they like to talk their shit. Like, I mean, it's normal, but it's not like I never find them like overly annoying. Most Steelers fans, when you talk to them, they have a pretty good idea of where their team is at. Like, they're not like delusional, and they're not like, oh, we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. Oh, this player's way better than this player, stuff like that. Like, at least the guys that I talk to at my work, most of them are like, yeah, dude, we got to get rid of Tomlin. We got to improve this, and this. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is really the answer here. We got to do something else. Like, most of them are pretty fun to actually interact with when it comes to talking football, because most of them are knowledgeable, and they don't necessarily rub it in their face because they don't really have much to rub in their face recently. So
Grayson, who are your three? You didn't mention your three.
Well, okay, I'm just gonna go through. I think there's only one team, or I guess you could say city, that win or lose, they are burning things, flipping cars,
Raiders,
climbing poles.
who might that be, Grayson?
Philly.
Yeah. So, as a whole, and I'm also very biased because obviously I'm a Redskins fan, but at the same time, I have a lot of Eagles friends and I have a lot of Steelers friends as well. But I will say, Eagles fans are the absolute worst. I hate them so much, genuinely. Like, I can't watch games with Eagles fans. It gets me on my nerves, even though they do whoop our ass majority of the time. I can't watch games with them, genuinely, because it will make me so mad because I think they're hot shit, which they have been very dominant the past couple of years. But, I mean, the way they handle it, too.
Their coach and his big security guard that walks around.
I hate their coach.
Bryce Harper's like twin.
Yeah, half the Eagles fans that I talk to actually hate their coach too.
Yeah,
So
well, he's a psycho.
yeah, they're number one. I really don't have any beef with any other fan base. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I have a lot of Steelers friends, and they always talk shit about the Redskins. So yeah, I have a little bit of hatred towards them, and when I see them lose, it doesn't make me sad one bit. But I mean, every other fan base I think is fine to me. I mean, I know you have a background with Cowboys fans. I mean, I don't really like Cowboys fans, but I will have a conversation with a Cowboys fan. But you talk about football with an Eagles fan, yeah, I'm good. I'm out of there.
Grayson, question: do you use Twitter or X at all?
Very, very rarely.
That explains why you don't have any negative perceptions towards fan bases. That's where I get all of my negative juju from. Dude, I gotta say, like, my mental health would probably severely improve during the football season if I just stayed off of Twitter, dude. That place is toxic.
Yeah.
Just
Twitter,
unbelievably
if
toxic.
you stayed off of Twitter and FanDuel, you'd be.
Yeah, my bank account would thank me for the second one there, but yeah. So.
You can get on there. I mean, you get FanDuel bet. You got people throwing hella shade. People calling other players like terrorists and stuff. Like, come on.
Oh, the Haliban. It's just
You're full of the touch tone tough guys, on
exactly.
Twitter and Facebook, and
I try to stay off that.
well,
keep doing that.
We're at an hour, so we should probably call it quits so that people can get back to their lives. But I just wanted to say thanks again for everybody watching, and we really, really appreciate you guys tuning in to three knuckleheads just spewing their personal opinions and thoughts on anything really sports related in the DC area. We'll maybe touch on the Nats next week. I did find out a closing note on the Nats. I didn't realize, and you guys, hopefully you guys know this, and anybody out there knows that you can actually watch Nationals games this year. They're no longer on MASN. The MLB, I guess Major League Baseball website now is offering a stream. So for $99, you can stream every Nationals game home and away. And so I recommend, I'm going to get it. And maybe you guys can share off my account. But anybody out there that's interested in actually watching the Nationals this year, Go ahead and download the app. I'm not getting paid by MLB to say that.
I was just about to say.
I wish I was, but anyway, we just have a lot of fun doing this again, and I think next show is going to be a beer show. We're all going to have a drink of beer while we're talking. Maybe it'll get even squirrelier. But again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. And please, we're on Facebook, we're on Spotify, we have some stuff on Instagram, and we also are on YouTube. So please check us out. And any questions or anything like that, please reach out. We love answering questions. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Take care.